Hello everyone, this is Gary Marks again, and today I'm going to talk about how to use the metronome when you're practicing. And this is so important because for early stage learners, especially adult early stage learners, they have issues with trying to keep the metronome, trying to keep their own rhythm. And today we're going to take you through some steps about how to use the metronome as a tool and not a crutch, because I believe so many people believe that we've got to rely on this as a crutch, and it's not. It's a tool to help you change the way you feel tempo and to feel rhythm in the music and how to feel it in your hands when you're playing. This was a metronome that my mother gave to me for, I think it was a birthday present back when I was in middle school back in the early 1970s. I've had it all these years and I've used it quite often, and it still works pretty well. And so what I'm going to do is play a piece for you here, a little bit of a piece that would be for an intermediate piano player called Laurens en Foix by Raphael Beau. It's a French piece, and you probably recognize it maybe, but I'm going to play just a bit of the beginning to show you kind of this 3/4 tempo, this 3/4 meter that goes like this. The idea, the 3/4. Now this piece gets more difficult as it goes along. So for instance, it has a section which can be very hard for the hands that has to travel like this. Like that. And then you have to put the left hand with it. So there's some coordination issues right there. And this is one way we can use the metronome to help our hands move fluently. Now, when we practice first, we practice without the metronome. So we get our fingerings worked out on the piano, and we can write the fingerings on the page. For instance, just to get where you're going. Again. There's some pretty big jumps there. And when you're doing that with a metronome, it can make it anxiety producing for many people. So we're going to get the sense of what it feels like now with both hands. Now, when most people start playing a song, they get a tempo, or they understand how the song is in their head. So they hear this at the tempo, and that's why they want to play it immediately. So when they come to an issue like this, it's hard for them to comprehend how to slow down, to practice it. This is where a metronome comes in as a tool. So what you want to do is set the metronome, slow it. It's up for the slower parts. And you can also use a metronome that's on your phone or whatever. So that's, move it up so it's nice and slow. So that might even be too fast for some players to get that. So set your metronome in a level place. And when you're ready, let it sink in. Now try just to play one hand. The easier hand in this part is the left hand, for instance. It makes you slow down. Now watch this. Slow it down even more, as far as it'll go. Now watch. That's not the tempo you feel it at, is it? Oops, I played it too fast. brush it. 2, 3. Now you've got a sense of how to slow it down using the metronome. Now I'm going to take this and apply it to the right hand. 3. You have to be very patient with it. But we just isolate that section. Don't use it for the whole time. Then practice the hands together. Oops, too fast. Forces you to slow down. Okay? Now, it's very important that you do this in short sections of the music, because if you try to play the music all the way through like this, you're going to drive yourself batty. And this is how most early stage piano students just get frustrated with the metronome, because they're hearing this tempo in their head and then they can't comprehend slowing down. So you've got to feel that method. Now, the next step is you're going to speed it up just a bit to see if you can play it at the new tempo. First you feel it. That might be too fast. Okay, what about the left hand? Both hands. Just that far. You do this with the difficult sections of the piece that you're trying to learn. Now, the other thing, when you're starting a piece to play it all the way through, you want to have the metronome be a tool for your guide. So you want to have a tempo set that you're going to try it at, and then you're going to turn the metronome off. Okay? So this is what you're going to do. So I'm going to set a tempo here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When you get that feel, and you keep it up, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and start playing. Sideways. Got the idea? Then check that with your metronome again to see if that tempo remained steady. And if it did, you've had some success. That was the second way to use the metronome. The next way is the most anxiety producing, and I don't recommend it if you're an early stage pianist, is you want to try to challenge yourself to play faster. But be careful, that's where the anxiety comes in. So, if I sped it up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be the tempo where this settles at. So when you get to these hard spots, you want to a spot where I messed up. So when you mess up, that's another spot. You take your pencil, circle it on the music, and then you're going to isolate it and practice it in that method I just told you. And that's how to use the metronome as a tool. So once you get that set, then I want you to record yourself playing by doing the metronome first, set your tempo, get it in your head, record it on your phone. Record yourself practicing, mistakes and all. Don't worry about mistakes, just record it on your phone. Then stop your recording, go back, listen to it, and then check to make sure that the tempo remained steady. Then when you listen to your recording, take that pencil again, and you can do this away from the piano. Take that tempo again, and take that piece again, and then look at the music just as you're listening, and when you hear where you skipped over mistakes that you didn't correct, circle it. Then go back and do the same thing again. This will cut your practice time down, believe it or not, because you're not trying to play through everything, and you're not just trying to play through mistakes. Got it? So enjoy the piece a little bit. Here we go. Spot for me. So when I hear that again, I circle it and I go back and do it again. So that's the way to use the metronome, okay? And you want to practice slowly enough so that these difficult spots where you're not landing correctly start to work out slowly, because what you're doing is you're feeling how the hands move. So I hope you enjoyed that. I look forward to seeing you again. And maybe by the next time I play this, I'll have that practiced and worked out, because that's a little challenging spot for me. Playing octaves, it's always a challenging spot for me. But stay tuned. We'll see if we get it figured out. Thanks.